Hi guys, Jay Knowlton here once again, and I just want to say again, thank you so much for all the, I wouldn't say support, but a lot of people have not been very supportive, but a lot of you have for the support on the last few 6 or 7 videos that I've posted. Like basically all of them have been in the top viewed videos of my channel, and of course I have been riding the wave a little bit. So first of all, I want to thank you very much for like 200 new subscribers. I mean, that doesn't sound a lot in the context of YouTube, but 200 subscribers is a lot to me. And thank you so much. And one day this visa stuff will finish. I do want to make one video today, which is kind of to not to dispel any rumors or dispel any like feelings that people may have, but I think one of the difficult things about these kind of situations is we can take the news and process it and try and work out what the future is going to be like. But then there's those who just say kind of utterly ridiculous stuff on the internet, and it doesn't help the case at all for anybody. For example, somebody put on Reddit in a response to like the new regulations, they really don't want babies unless they're pure bed. I'm gonna start that again. They really don't want babies unless they're purebred Japanese. I mean, that doesn't make that's first of all, that's not even related to anything about the PR visa changes. You can still get married to Japanese people and still get your permanent residency through marriage. In fact, you will get permanent residency faster and simpler through marriage to a Japanese person. So I'm not quite sure how that constitutes not wanting babies unless they're purebred Japanese. I've got a daughter who's obviously half English and half Japanese, and I have had no negative. Sometimes my wife will take her places and the staff will speak to her in English, even though my daughter's English is not perfect. But I mean, that's like the worst of it. It's not even a bad thing at the end of the day. She's got lots of friends. She's got really good friends in school. The teachers have been nothing but nice to her, and it's been perfectly fine. Another comment says, this ministry has done all it can to destroy Japan by making it unpalatable to people who do want to settle but don't want to be extorted, then kicked out once they're drained of any use. At the end of the day, like the number of foreigners in Japan is increasing. So it's not really it's made it unpalatable, yes, to the people who wanted to get permanent residency, who don't have high salaries. Of course, it's not made it unpalatable. It's made it more difficult for you. You didn't change your mind about Japan. Japan changed its mind on you. So it's kind of those things like, oh, I didn't like Japan anyway. It's like, no, you wanted to be here forever. It's just Japan has kind of raised the boundaries. And again, if you were close to getting your permanent residency, I do feel a little bit bad that, I do feel very bad actually that you've had the rug pulled under you. But to say like it's made it unpalatable, it's like, no, no, no. You want to live here forever still. You still want to be here. It's just that they've made it harder for you to stay here forever without renewal. So those kind of comments kind of just make it so difficult to have good discourse online, because I don't know. I don't know, when people write this stuff, do they like think that they are saying something that's potentially correct? And the last one, I always love these kind of comments. Pay back every yen I paid into these systems then. You cannot enter a social contract and then go back on your word because your administration has been an utter failure economically. You cannot scam hundreds of thousands of people out of the money they paid into your country's systems and then say, oh, by the way, we're taking that back now. First of all, taking what back? You already paid it. I'd be fine with that. Every single yen needs to be paid back to me. adjusted for inflation over the last 20 years. I'll tell you, fellows, that they've been absolutely reaming me sideways on those payments too because I'm a high earner. It's interesting that, some people are so eager to tell everyone they make a lot of money. If they do something like say no more Nenkin for you to us, I have a feeling there's going to be an enormous lawsuit against the Japanese government. Again, who has said that you're not going to get paid your pension? Like, this guy is apparently a high earner, so he should have his permanent residency already, right? 20 years in Japan, I would hope he's either married or already a permanent resident through other means. So why would they take away your Nenkin? Also, you've not entered into a contract. I mean, it's the law that you have to pay these things. I mean, tax has to be paid everywhere. If you go on holiday, you pay income tax. It's not something that you can escape just because you're not there forever. And also, I mean, it's not a perfect system, but Japan does have agreements with a lot of countries to do pay back 5 years worth of pension if you do decide to leave in a lump sum. So, for example, I guess I haven't really, because now I'm on Kokumin Nenkin. I only pay like 17,000 a month, but in my previous company, I was paying like 40 to 50,000 yen a month. So if I would have got 5 years back of that in a lump sum, oof, that's pretty good. I'll be fine with that. And also, health insurance is to pay for healthcare. If you fell down the stairs tomorrow, you would get that healthcare. They would have no obligation to pay it back to you. So these comments just make no sense. Japan isn't trying to kick you out. It is making sure that the people who are here long term and into retirement are able to pay their way. And to be honest with you, seeing how other countries are struggling with welfare and struggling ballooning welfare costs, for example, the UK, what is it? The cost of welfare is like tripled over the past decade or something like that. The more that welfare grows, the more expensive things are going to get and the less money the country is going to have. So, making sure that people can pay for that welfare, not the worst thing in the world. I know it hurts for a lot of people to know that permanent residency has become maybe like a dead dream, but you have to be able to see it from both sides. Like, I really can sympathize with the fact that a lot of people will not be able to get permanent residence anymore. But I also understand why it has been changed. Do I agree with all the changes? No. Do I agree with some of the changes? Yes. Are a lot of my opinions reduced to being like redundant because I already have permanent residency? A lot of you probably would agree with that. But however, if my opinions are not counted because I do have permanent residency, wouldn't that also mean everybody else's opinions are made redundant because they do not have permanent residency and they are the ones who want to get it? It's kind of bias on both sides. So that argument also doesn't really work. I'm talking from somebody, to be honest, I can't really say neutral because nobody would believe that. But I'm not like, I'm not trying to say people are not working hard enough or anything like that. I just think if you do want to live in Japan forever, having a secure financial future is important, and that also would secure you that permanent residency visa. There's obviously enough cases to say that people do get permanent residency and then do drop onto welfare. Maybe that's with dependents coming into the country. I think I saw a news article that said like a family in Pakistan brought like 8 dependents over with them and they all went onto welfare, which would be a big cost. So that is something that, the country does have to think about. Some people do use other countries as part of their argument, but no country is perfect. Like, I can't look at England's immigration system and think, that's what we need in Japan. We need tons of undocumented immigrants who have thrown their passports into the sea to come into Japan and make their life. What we need is tens of thousands of men who we have no idea who they are or where they came from. Again, there's no perfect system. Some people use Switzerland in my comments as well, and it's like Switzerland just had a vote to decide on whether they should cap their own population because immigration numbers have ballooned so high that they're actually looking at capping and putting a limit on how many people they want in their country, period. Not even just letting people in or not, just how many people they want, because they're afraid they won't be able to make sure everything is funded. It's like economics is a very difficult thing, and securing welfare is difficult, securing healthcare is difficult, securing pension is difficult. It is costly, and if Japan is not doing well economically, they also have to think about what's going to be safer for them. Again, no one's trying to kick you out. You can live here as long as you meet the requirements to get permanent residency forever. And even if you don't meet those requirements, you can still live here in Japan as long as you have a valid work visa, or if you get married to a Japanese national or a PR holder. It's not going to make anything better for those who are hurt. But again, in 5 years' time, you probably won't remember this too much anyway, because the permanent residency visa regulations have changed before. We move with the times. Things will change again in the future, and this will be something of the past. And it's just something when people are planning to move to Japan, it'll be on their checklist. Okay, I need to think about this. But thanks all for watching, guys. Again, see you all next time.